This is my 2006 H3 Hummer. It's got 203,000 miles on it. I recently wrapped it in a Camo from Metro Restyling. At 191,000 miles, the original engine started giving me low oil pressure and started making some bottom end noise. So I got a Colorado engine with 38,000 miles on it, and a really good friend of mine replaced the engine. He really done a good job. I helped him a little bit, but he knows his stuff big time. I just recently got new wheels and tires. The wheels are Centerline. I believe they're called Zodiacs. They're 20-inch rims, 12 inches wide, and it's got a -44 offset. They stick out about halfway. The tires are Federal Courageous. They're 33 1250s. I have the tail light guards put on there. The roof rack is a Stingray roof rack. And I have I think they're Fuel kayak racks. The fog lights, I believe, are 27 watt. They're just cheap off of eBay. They are, I believe, 2 spot and 4 floods. I got them hooked to a remote that I just have onto the CB radio in there, and it's just a wireless remote. You can turn them on and off from outside the vehicle. I have the back ones wired the same way. I have a Gobi ladder on it. I think I paid just as much for the ladder as I did the whole rack. The bike rack, I'm not sure what brand it is. It's got 2-inch shackles in the back, and I've got an airlift airbag suspension. Seems like it lifts it about another 2 inches when you have it aired up. You have to keep them aired up or it'll rip the bags. I've got the front cranked on the torsion bars about 1 inch. I've had it higher. It seems to be happier at this height. At full turn, the tires do drag on these mud flaps a little bit, but nothing else. I have a spow pusher fan and an external transmission cooler behind the grill. The spow fan is hooked to a thermostat, and I got it on a relay. The thermostat kicks on when it gets about midway on the temperature gauge. I've replaced both headlights. I believe at about 120,000 miles the transmission went out. I had a local transmission shop put a rebuilt transmission in it. The shift fork, it had the plastic shift fork. I split the cases and put the metal shift fork in it. Fairly recently, the fuel pump lines right out of the fuel tank rusted. I believe that was giving me some of my codes. I replaced the fuel sending unit, the fuel pump, and the fuel lines, and that took care of all that. Started smelling gas, so needed to really fix that. I have a 12-volt bigger ceramic heater. Seems like it heats pretty good. You got to watch the battery, it'll run it down. The badges, I took them off. I got the orange highlight off of eBay. When we changed the engine, I put a rebuilt steering rack with new tie rod ends on it. It's got new ball joint, upper ball joint on this side. At some point I have changed the lower, or I had it changed, the lower ball joint. And I believe the other side, I've had the hub bearing changed in it once, but I'm not sure which side. I've had the sunroof leaks. Basically, the sunroof hose came off on the drain, and I had to pull the headliner down a little and reattach it. Wasn't no big deal, but figuring out what it was kind of. I've had the heater issues with the connector kind of arcing out. I fixed that myself. The CB, me and my son both put CBs in our vehicle, so I just put that on the center console above the mirror, the rear view mirror. It's about all I can think of right now. Thanks a lot.